Honda is bringing its A game to India, and at the Auto Expo it promised to bring 6 new cars to the market in the next 3 years. 3 of these will be launched in the financial year 2018-19, and it's going to start with the biggest launch of them all.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is the new second generation of the Honda Amaze. Big news here at the Auto Expo because, of course, it's a popular model for Honda. Here it is. Now, the face is completely different and it's kind of inspired by the Civic, which is also coming now, as you know. But this is the first of the 3 new models that Honda has shown, and it will be the one that I know more of you will care about because, of course, it's the one that's going to play in the higher volumes. It has to take on the Desire, so the new car has to be packed with a lot more. Styling-wise, it's certainly a huge departure from the last Amaze because it's very angular and actually I have to say really attractive, very smart looking. But it's in here that things really start to take shape because look at the interior. It's a very spacious looking cabin. It promises a fair amount in terms of comfort and space. And come on in and take a look at the overall dash. That layout looks pretty promising as well because it talks about a more modern product for sure, with a touch screen, with a climate control system, with a start-stop button as well. So it's not just about the looks really, but yeah, the looks, how different does the car look now? It's sort of straight and angular, and I think that really works because it's very different to anything else that's in the segment, and it doesn't look like it is sub 4 meter either. The launch, first half of this year, for sure.
Of course, there's an SUV thrown in there as well, and it's the new generation CR-V. And there are big changes made to the car.
Yep, that is the big news. The brand new generation CR-V will come with 3 rows for the first time. And also for the first time, India gets a diesel. So that's what Honda is promising. The petrol, of course, will also be available, I'm assuming, with a CVT option. It's a really nicely laid out car. It looks a lot more upmarket than the previous generation. And it's well finished. It's likely that it will give us a lot of efficient figures as well to talk about. Because, well, it's a Honda. Now, the last generation car was made here in India. So, again, my expectation is that this one will be made here too. It's nice and high-end looking. It's got, I think, a lot going for it. I'm running out of space here, but you can see that it does have a fairly upmarket sort of a stance. And it's bigger, right? It's bigger than the last car. It's always been a popular nameplate. Now I think with these options, it's going to get even more popular. But speaking of popular nameplates, the other car that's finally coming back to India is the Civic. Now, somewhere in this crowd, we have the Civic, and there's Cyrus. Yeah, let's go across to Cyrus for the Civic.
Yes, so that's the CR-V that Siddharth showed you. But this is something that everybody's been interested about, and in fact it did won the Facebook contest to the Viewer's Choice Car of the Year or the Reader's Choice Car of the Year for our Auto Expo Awards. It is of course the new Civic. We haven't had that for quite a while here in India. When it did come the last time around, it did create quite the storm. This of course a whole new generation in line with that Amaze design you saw earlier too. Very slant, very sort of edgy and cutty all across. LED headlamps too. Very in line with what the Accord actually looks like. But the big difference, the last generation Civic was a complete sedan. It was a 3-box, very clear 3-box design. This one has a bit of a slopey edge to it. It's almost like a coupe, and that makes it a lot sexier, a lot sleeker. Now, otherwise the design sort of stays the same from what we've seen at Honda. You got these big 17-inch wheels on. You've got the big Honda grille on with the logo in the front, the same chrome that we see on most of the other cars too. Sporty bumper, a lot of cuts. Again, very typically Honda, but it does have that large stance to it and will go up against the likes of the Toyota Corolla Altis, which was facelifted last year, the very popular Skoda Octavia, and of course the Hyundai Elantra too. So now that we've shown you that exterior, which is quite stunning looking, especially in this grey, which looks rather understated, perfect color for the Civic, let's show you the interior. So, as with the last generation Civic, now this one isn't on, sadly, otherwise we could have showed you a lot more. But as with the last generation Civic, it does get that digital cluster on the speedometer. So all of that is digital. All of that, of course, is off currently. Big touchscreen in the center and paddle shifters. Now remember, the Civic was one of the first cars in India to get those paddle shifters in 2007. This one has it too. It does have an automatic. Now the big other news is the fact that though the last generation was just the petrol, this one will be both a petrol and a diesel. But what I really want is for Honda to debut that beautiful 1.5 litre turbo VTEC engine that we drove in Japan a couple of months ago. Remember that coupe-like profile that I was talking about? This is that line. It just fuses straight into the boot. Now although this is a 3-box car, it does have a separate boot and it's not a notchback like the Octavia. It does look rather stunning in the back, even though it looks a little narrower than some of its competition. Now expect the car to be out maybe by the end of the year or very, very early next year, and expect it to go up against, as we said, the likes of the Octavia range. So prices, we assume about 16 or 17 lakh rupees onwards, and for that price, it's the perfect upgrade car for somebody who has a Honda City currently, and that's exactly the clientele that Honda is looking to poach. And of course, the other guys who are in the segment, similar price range segment, looking for an SUV, get them back into a sedan.